South of Midnight, first impressions and is it worth it? South of Midnight is a new action-adventure game from Compulsion Games. Explore the mythos and confront mysterious creatures of the Deep South in this modern folktale while learning to weave an ancient power to surmount obstacles and unravel your family's hidden past. You can pick it up for yourself on the Xbox Game Pass today. Big thanks to Xbox for sponsoring this video and giving me the opportunity to make this video for you guys. If you like what you see here, make sure to head into the description to pick this game up for yourself. Also, if you wouldn't mind dropping a like and subscribing, that would be absolutely awesome, and I would appreciate it very much. Without further ado, let's just jump straight into this video. Start of game. The start of South of Midnight throws you right into the action in chapter 1. Each section of the game is broken down into chapters like a book, and there is a sense of the story being told as if it were a book as the game starts with narration. You are Hazel Flood, and your first task will be to pack your things as there is a mighty hurricane that is about to hit the town of Prospero. Straight off the bat, you're introduced to Hazel's mother, Lacey, and it's very obvious that there's tension between the two of them. They have a little argument, and you're soon sent out to check on your neighbours to make sure they're safe. You meet Mrs. Pearl, and Hazel makes her feelings about her mum not being there more obvious, and Mrs. Pearl tells Hazel that her mum's just doing her best. Right off the bat, it's obvious the game is setting up for the classic "you won't miss me till I'm gone" story that a lot of movies and games follow. The problem is, the game seems to really try and force this down your throat within the first few minutes, which for my taste was a little too on the nose. As you're making your way back to the house, a massive wave comes and sweeps the house away with Hazel's mum still inside. Like I mentioned earlier, it was obvious the game was going to do something like this by the way the dialogue was going. It's like in Call of Duty where one of the side characters monologue about how you were best friends growing up, only to be turned into tortellini by a 60mm mortar around the next minute. Now you're running after the house that's being washed down the river, and you get the first real sense of movement and parkour elements that this game has. After realizing she could not in fact keep up with the house that was literally swept down the river by a hurricane, you begin your journey to find your mum. You get familiarized with more of the parkour elements as you climb a destroyed bridge and make your way to the mansion to meet a character called Bunny for help. You get the first of many dream sequences that come in this game that tell you the story of your mum, as the game tries to hammer home how important your journey is to find her. Honestly, at this point, because there has been so much lore and feelings crammed down your throat so early on, it's really difficult to feel the same sense of loss that the character feels. The stakes don't feel as high as they should, and it all feels a little forced. Gameplay plus mechanics. So let's talk about the gameplay and the mechanics of this game. There are certainly some really good features in South of Midnight that deserve some attention, the music especially. Throughout the game you will hear various pieces of music that were made specifically for certain level or boss fight. It's done really well and adds to the game in a lot of ways. It's not often I come away from a game and really have the music as a standout part of it, but that is something that this game does particularly well. Parkour element is the next main thing, as well as the combat. I'll start with the parkour however. There are quite a few different levels of parkour in this game, and the movement feels very well done. Hazel is a weaver, she can manipulate strands to her liking, and she uses this to do things such as glide and double jump. She can also run along walls and move up and down whilst doing so, and the only way that I can explain that she does this is through magic. You'll need to get accustomed with the movement fairly quickly, as it's prominent in every level, as well as at the end of each chapter as you're being chased by a purple fog monster and you'll need to maneuver through an assault course to get to the bottle tree at the end. The level design of this game is really nice too, with there being very unique environments that you will find yourself in at various parts of the game. Although sometimes it doesn't really make sense, it doesn't take you out of the feel of the game. When I say it doesn't make sense, I refer to a few times in the game where I just found really strange choices for the environment, such as when for one part of the game you need to cross a river on logs that move like Crossy Road or Frogger. It seemed quite strange and out of place, and was only seen once, which made me question why they ever included it in the first place. The story itself can be very confusing if you don't listen to every conversation or make an effort to read all of the notes that are left around, and there are a ton of notes to read, maybe too many in fact. I found myself reading so many notes that it took me out of the game and made the pace of the game feel really off. The fact that Hazel goes from a regular girl to a skilled magic weaving lady in the space of just 40 minutes also leaves a bad taste. She got way too good way too quickly, and there was no feeling of learning or progression. It's just another case of of the game forcing it down your throat and expecting you to just go with the flow. Not everything needs to be drawn out over hours of gameplay, but if you're going to turn a regular girl into a magic weaving monster fighting badass, at least give us some insight into how she gets there instead of saying it just happens. There are many enemies in this game and they all seem to be connected with the routes that you'll see scattered around. The enemies are fairly easy to counter when you learn their attack patterns, and they rarely differ in their spawns and variety. There are around 6 different variations of enemy in the game, and they are all the same enemies that you'll face all the way until the end. I wish they would have done more with it, or even tried to explain why the enemies are the way they are, but all of that is left pretty much unanswered. They are put in there simply to slow your progression, and seem to offer little to no actual value to the story. There is a leveling system in the game where you can unlock new combat abilities at the cost of floof. You can find floof pretty much everywhere around the game, and oftentimes you'll find it by heading down the alternate path that the game wants you to go. The game is very linear, with one designed path to get you through the game. When the game provides you with more than one, it's usually a good bet that there will be some floof to collect to level up your character. The abilities themselves are fine, but nothing really special. You can barely notice when you upgrade compared to when you don't, so leveling up your character doesn't feel like much of an achievement, but more of a necessary thing to do to progress. Lastly, I'll talk about the characters you'll meet in this game, the first being the talking catfish. The characters in this game are all voiced brilliantly and offer a lot of great dialogue. Since the game is so linear, the dialogue is the same every time, meaning you'll have the exact same experience the second playthrough as the first. There are some really cool bosses to fight in the game, and you really have to think about a character's intentions and whether you really are doing the right thing. There is also a little stitched together teddy bear called Crouton, who for whatever reason comes to life, and you can control him to access small hidden away areas in the game. Why the teddy bear comes to life or is so integral to the plot of the game is still beyond me, but in South of Midnight you learn to just not ask questions. Overall thoughts. I'm going to give my overall thoughts on the game now. I have beaten it, but as you can probably tell by the video, I've not given away any spoilers or talked in detail about any of the main plot or twists that come with it, specifically because I don't want to spoil the game for anybody looking to play it, so bear that in mind as I give my overall thoughts on this game. I would rate the game a solid 6 out of 10. It's nothing groundbreaking, and a lot of the stakes really feel forced. I struggled to feel any emotional attachment to any of the characters, and it left me confused and annoyed at a lot of parts. As I stated earlier, the music is easily the best part of the game. I probably would avoid playing it again personally, but bear in mind that this is just my opinion and everyone will feel different about it. It was a lot of fun to play, and I definitely enjoyed different aspects of the game. Is it worth it? For me, I have to say it's not worth it, or at least not worth paying the full price for. If real in-depth linear fairy tale storytelling is for you, then maybe you will feel different. I would say pick it up when it's on sale, and if you have the Xbox Game Pass and want something new to play, then you should definitely give it a whirl for yourself. Do I think this will win Game of the Year? No, but that's completely fine, and I think the developers have made a pretty solid game here. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and until the next time, adios my friends.